here at the Drone Shield head office here in Sydney. I'm speaking to Oleg, the CEO. Oleg, give us a bit of a rundown on what Drone Shield is and what you do here.
Drone Shield is an Australian-based global leader in detection and takedown of drones. So we're involved in Ukraine, for example, in other hotspots around the world, and then also in more civilian context, for example, drones infiltrating prisons, delivering contraband, disrupting airports, delivering drugs across borders, and civil nefarious applications.
Now, you recently raised a big chunk of money. You raised $115 million. The share price has gone north significantly since then. How has that price increase or the market cap expansion moving into the billions of dollars, how has that impacted the company? Has it impacted the company at all?
Well, the capital raise has given us significant amount of resources to invest in inventory, invest in our artificial intelligence R&D. And in terms of the stature of the company, John, ultimately we're a people business. We're a technology business, but people business as well. So having higher profile, high market cap enables us to hire the best engineers, the best sales guys, and also it's a higher profile with the customers.
So when we look at opportunities or expansion for the business, how do you see a number of opportunities across the market? Are there growth areas, and how do conflict zones impact revenue and ultimately the growth of the business?
Ukraine war has really highlighted the requirement for counter-drone systems. Drones are front and center in Ukraine, and with it is the need to defeat those. Drones are a force multiplier and they're disruptive. For example, a $5,000 drone can blow up a $5 million tank. So we're seeing Ukraine as much of a tragedy as it is really highlighted the need for counter-drone systems, and now we're seeing military planners around the world not wanting to have a repeat of World War I, horse cavalry on one side and machine guns on the other, so adopting technology like counter-drone. And also the thing with counter-drone is that unlike more traditional military pieces of equipment like helmets and body armor, it's such a new technology that nobody has any in stock. So you need to start acquiring in mass, and the market penetration is really low.
That's really interesting. And you mentioned the civilian or the civil application of your products, looking at prisons or stadiums and things. We've obviously just seen an assassination attempt on the former President Trump. How do you see your products coming into play when you're looking at political rallies or other situations like that?
People are reactive in nature, so they often wait for something bad to happen and then they look to acquire protection against those threats in the future. VIP market is not a new market for us. Early last year, we're protecting Brazilian presidential inauguration against drone attack, and there's footage around our drone guns being used to stop those drones. Early in Southeast Asia games, our drone guns were used to stop presidential helicopter carrying the head of state of Philippines as well as Sultan of Brunei. So this is a market that we're very busy in, but more generally in places like stadiums, airports, and other civilian facilities, critical infrastructure, another example, we are expecting over time the risk of drone attacks to increase, and when that happens, we expect mass adoption to occur.
And when you look at manufacturing, are you manufacturing here in Sydney? Is it in Australia? You're exporting a lot overseas. Are you manufacturing overseas? I guess talk us through the manufacturing process, where you are, and what sort of headroom you have as well in terms of growth.
Drone Shield manufactures all of our products in Australia. We do some in our headquarters, and then we outsource vast majority to a dedicated military-grade defense electronics manufacturer. The most sensitive part of our technology is the software, although the hardware is the other components on its own. So they build the hardware for us, they ship it to us, we put encrypted software in, and then we ship it out to our customers. We have approximately $400 million in production capacity right now between us and our outsourced manufacturing partner. But then we also now looking to further expand it. We had 55 million revenue last year, so we have a bit of headroom to move, but then we're mindful to not hit against capacity constraints. So as the production continues to increase, we expect it to keep up with the demand.
You've clearly built an impressive product that there's significant global demand for. How do you see the competitive landscape? How do you protect, or how do you build a competitive advantage against those competitors?
There are approximately a dozen companies around the world that do something like what we do. We are unique in a number of ways. One, we've been in this from the very start, so we're a decade-old company, which may not sound like a lot, but it's given us time to really push the
technology to its limits, and we probably have the largest engineering team in the world for the counter-drone space today. Over 100 engineers in our Sydney facility. The other advantage is our commercial advantage. So we developed over years relationships with a number of tier 1 end users. So when they see an unusual drone, when they record the data, by the way, our data can be recorded by the devices that we supply and then ship back to us with customers' consent. So we receive all of these unusual edge cases, which enable us to further develop our artificial intelligence software. So commercial and technical differentiators. Important to say, military primes are not our competitors, they're not enemies, they're our friends. What we find is that very large military contractors, they're not really focused on nimble spaces like counter drones, so instead they prefer to purchase from us and then provide the equipment to the government. So it's more mid-sized companies similar to ourselves.
And what you mentioned, you've got about half a dozen competitors in the space doing similar, or in a similar space. Do you see M&A as an opportunity or as a threat to the business?
There is a significant difference in technology between us and our competitors. So none of our competitors have interest to us from that respect. The biggest challenge for us is the drones themselves and keeping up with the drone technology. However, we are seeing some interesting, unique technologies which are on the face of it completely unrelated to counter-drone, but we expect to come into that drone, counter-drone type of war. So we are looking at those unique little businesses, as well as, of course, poaching salespeople from our competitors like Operates.
If investors wanted to buy into DroneShield, and we know that there is significant retail demand, Superhero customers are actually collectively make up a large portion of the register. They sit in the top 20 shareholders of DroneShield. But if investors wanted to invest in DroneShield shares, tell us how they could do that.
So we're an ASX listed company, as you know, John. So any brokerage or via Superhero, of course.